Alright, so on this video now, I want to get right into a situation. I've done 2 videos. This is the 3rd video in the last 3 hours I've done. But the first video was more or less just me introducing what's coming from me soon to y'all, where I'm influenced. The second video was more or less where I come from, what I'm claiming, what was an influence to me coming up. This video, I really want to put something out there that I want to touch on a certain subject. It's probably one of the hotter subjects lately. It's probably one of the most talked about, most influential subjects as well when it comes to music and hip-hop in general. And I wanted to discuss the situation of auto-tune. Everybody knows Jay-Z's auto-tune song, the death of auto-tune, his lack of auto-tune on it, his displeasure with the auto-tune scene. And for those who don't know it, while you're on YouTube, type in Jay-Z, DOA, Death of Auto-Tune, listen to the song. And if you pay attention, he's not talking to everyone doing auto-tune, just specifically the rappers. If you sing and you do auto-tune, he don't really mention you, so you ain't gotta worry about it too much. But he's really more or less talking to the rappers, the hip-hoppers doing auto-tune. But I wanted to sit there and put this out there, and hopefully will be discussed amongst people, because I know it's being discussed everywhere. I'm personally, me, small time dude as I am, trying to make my own little come up. I can kind of feel where Jay's coming from, because it's the same thing that's been said for the last year and a half. Honestly, it's just the only people that have really had any type of balls to say anything about it were Jay and maybe a couple other people here and there that might not have had a strong enough voice for it to even matter. But like, I can understand some of the newer dudes that have been using it, some of the new school cats that have been using it, and some of the vets who have been using it. You know that they have the Ron Browse dude. He's using it heavy. The song that the DJ Webstar song with Jim Jones, that sounds like it's used some on there. Everybody knows Wayne been doing it for forever. Kanye did it for 808 and Heartbreak, and he did it on a couple other songs other than that. So of course it's being used a lot more. I can feel where Jay's coming from as far as his song goes, because I feel like it did go a little too far. It started to become a situation where it was a bang of people that were starting to throw auto-tune on there because they figured, well, you know what, that's the new in thing now, so I'm going to throw that on there and maybe I'll get a few more radio spins and this, that, and the third. So I get where Jay's coming from with it, and I'm kind of with him on that. I'm like, alright, y'all can kind of chill out with that now. It's not for everybody. Just because you throw auto-tune on some shit of yours does not mean we're going to like it any more than that. If it's still garbage, it's still garbage. It's just garbage with auto-tune on it. So I kind of feel where he's coming from, but I can kind of understand where everybody else is coming from also, in the fact that, if that's something they want to do, and that's something they want to try, regardless if it's a trend or not, they should be able to have that creative outlet to do it. And, if that's what's making them money, why are people like Jay so against it? I come from the old school. I come from the quote-unquote golden age of hip-hop, where hip-hop was in its purest form, I guess, when people were doing more of their own thing. Rakim didn't sound like Big Daddy Kane. He didn't sound like Chubb Rock. Chubb Rock didn't sound like Heavy D, and so on and so on and so on. EPMD wasn't like Run DMC. Run DMC wasn't like Public Enemy. Public Enemy wasn't like NWA. Everybody was more of an individual, and you would get clowned more, or your style was less authentic if you were trying to copy like somebody else. Even going into the 90s, you had your Naughty by Natures, you had, your Dog Pound, Snoop, Dre, Tupac was getting heavy. You had Digital Underground was doing something different. You had, you still had your Rakim, you still had your Big Daddy Kane, all these. Biggie was coming up. You had Busta Rhymes, LL Cool J. You had all these different elements of hip hop, all these different sides to it, and everybody was different. No one really did the same thing. It wasn't until like the late 90s when people started doing the same stuff. So I definitely agree I'm definitely leaning more towards how Jay and them feel. I feel like if you don't sound good with it on there, you probably shouldn't do it. And if everybody and their grandmama's doing it, it probably needs to die. But I mean, you can't knock somebody if they making money. I'd rather you make money off doing something that everybody else is doing than, you know, hustling on the street, you know, on the corner or whatever, getting your work up and possibly putting yourself in jail or in a situation where you can get shot and killed. So, you know, y'all let me know y'all opinion and what y'all think of the situation, because I know what's going on all the videos on YouTube anyway. But now is a specific area for all y'all to be able to sit there and say what y'all think. I'm personally against it, but that's just me. I'm not finna knock you for doing what you do. I just won't listen to it personally. Someone else will, though. The fact that I'm not listening to your music isn't making you sleep any less, and it's not hurting your pockets anymore.